All right. Looking good. Okay. Got everything going here, guys. Appreciate you guys joining the stream. We're going to talk about the kind of the day, the plan, where I see the market, and we just go through the normal stuff, right? The things that impact the markets in general. So, TikTok, my disclaimer again, I don't watch the comments from now till about 9 a.m. So, if you could hold your comments, if you want to place it, I'd try to look back at them, but I won't be able to get to it for about 30 minutes. So, first, let's talk about the news. First, we had some news yesterday. You can see core durable goods came in, up. We had the consumer confidence also, came in a lot higher as well. Today we have the Powell speaking at 9:30. That's going to rock the markets depending what he says, right? All it takes is one word. And then shortly after at 10:30 we have crude oil inventories, which typically doesn't rock the market, but it can depending on how far it's off, right? So those are the times to kind of watch, 9:30 and 10:30 today. So we'll make some money early. Let's talk about the market yesterday. So it's kind of interesting, and this is I wanted to show this one purposefully because our indicators are amazing, right? They win 90+% of the time, but there's always, you have to have rules, right? You have to stick with rules. You have to stick with there's no one perfect call, right? And that's why we use multiple. That's why, I love the Gap Fill Sniper, the Bollinger Tracker, Zone Tracker, Harmonic Tracker Pro. Like, we put all these together, right? And so it was interesting because right when the market opened, we saw a nice little push north. So if you notice, we've been following this falling wedge for some time, right? I talked about it yesterday. And what I had said is if we break above this falling wedge, we're going to see a pretty nasty push up, right? And so we tried to break it here. We couldn't hold it. It fell down this way, right? And then when it came in through here, right, this little bitty line that we were following, which is kind of funny, ended up, finding support. So when I saw this short call, keep in mind, came after the news just came out like really bullish. So we with the news in consideration, plus we were found a really bullish candle off of a really good support. Although we started with some divergence here, I did not like the short call. So we in the room did not take that, right? We held on to it. Waited a little bit, noticed, boom, we got the long call. Now, I love this long call because of the fact that we were above this trend line here of the falling wedge, right? And we had support. So what we did is we waited, from the long call, ended up catching the bounce off of here, and then we were able to get some scalps. So I actually scalped this one here, and I was able to scalp this one on the way up, right? And so... and you can see that falling wedge played out perfect, right? We all know that the breakout is important, but the retest is where the true trend or volume starts to show itself, right? So you can see all through this whole thing on the shorter time frame. I mean, it was just showing divergence like crazy. We did not get our first short call until here. Now, this is the same thing in reverse, right? This is our long call, but now you're in reverse. We're near a known resistance level, not only from here, but if you zoom out, right, you have it over here. And this is what we talked about. So taking a long there is going to be very, very risky. So whether you took this short or this short, right, the people that took those made some good money. So as we came down, this is the end of day. A bunch of the people put this out. I believe that one I put out in the room. So if you're looking for signals, if you're not sure how to put the rules together or what to take, right, we put those out for you so you can see this is basically that short right there, right? So 436, 20 or so is the entry. A lot of people are in puts. And you can see so far it's playing out pretty well, right? They're going to open up likely in some profit. And then the after hours, obviously we didn't trade these, but, still had a great long call and a decent short call so far, but may not be done, right? So that's kind of was our play yesterday on the SPY. If you roll out to a higher time frame, like the 15 minute, even really the 1 hour, you can kind of see that we're starting to get this double top look here. Um, but we don't have any gap fills down here, which is interesting, right? With such a big push up, usually that gap fill is going to call something. It didn't call anything yet, right? So we are still green on our RSI, so we may not be done with a little bit of a push up, as it comes up to test this again. But this double top definitely could play out. But we are in on the 1 hour, we are in that kind of golden cross where we got the SMA that crossed over the 200 EMA. I would say a retest of that would be probably likely, 434, something like that. And if it holds support on that, right, then it's gonna come up and retest this top here again. So you can see we talked about if it broke that falling wedge, it would probably reject around 436 or so because of this prior high. I had mentioned earlier, and I marked it even 435 could be a rejection point because of the fact that we did have some prior highs here. Instead, we actually, broke past that. We hit the next level, and then we retested this as support so far. So if this holds as support, right, we could range here and then have another push north. So we'll keep an eye on that. The one caveat to that, guys, I want you to really pay attention, and this is what I'm watching super closely, is the daily. So although we had even this enormous candle up, right, we went up almost $4 just yesterday on the SPY, we are still red. And as I've mentioned, historically speaking, when we come out of a red and we start red and then we come back here, right? So let's look and see again, for those who missed it before, the last time that happened, right there, right? It just ended up a nasty fall, right? Now keep in mind, this is 405 to 419 in one day. Doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to happen, right, in that one day. But it just means that you want to be careful, because as this is overbought and we're breaking red, it just means that we're potentially overbought and getting ready for that pullback. Now, these are big movements, right? We had some news back here. You can see even with this fall down here, we found support around 388, and then over the next 4 days, pumped straight back to 411, right? So doesn't mean we're going straight down. You still got to play your range, still got to scalp. But at the end of the day, right, we basically bled. And you can look, it's done that before as well. Up here, you can see even the moment it hit red the first time, it dropped, from 464 to 450, right, $14. So historically speaking, and I can show more, in the past. If you guys have the indicator, you're welcome to look at it. But historically speaking, it has been pretty accurate at calling our downtrend here. Now, just watch it. I've gone back pretty far. I can't see too many spots where it does it, but there's a chance with this big candle here, if we have another big candle attempting a daily double top, right, that it may flip green temporarily, right? So what you could see is if we are going to continue bullish off of this SMA here, on the daily, then you're going to see a push up here, a pullback, a push up, a lower high, probably a rejection somewhere off of this line, 440 or so, and then that would cause a pretty nasty fall, right? So that's kind of where I would watch. So we'll see how today goes with the news. It's going to set the pace for tomorrow. So if you look at the Dixie right now, currently on the 2-minute, we're climbing. You can see we are coming up on some resistance, but as of now, it's kind of just been ranging through this area here. So nothing massive I expect from that. The VIX, I haven't been talking about the VIX too much lately. I still watch it. We're low, as we talked about not too long ago. We're well overdue for a push up. Even if you go to the 1 hour, right, and you pull back, you can see that we're just super low, which means that the confidence is good right now, and it shows, right, in the news that came out yesterday. So as long as this just continues to be boring and range down here, I'm not too concerned about it. I drew this line here if you wanted to follow that. This is the one that's going to want to break. If it breaks here, somewhere in here, right, then that's going to push us north up back to test these levels, which is what will cause us to fall. So aside from that, the VIX is just been fairly boring. So let's take a look at the tech stocks. I believe Apple hit another all-time high again yesterday. So looks like 188.39 looks like. I mean, what do you say, with Apple, right? So you can see that this line right here, a little bit off, but if you adjust it to this one right here, we have a pretty good peak line now. I can make this a little bit bigger. So you can follow with this trend here. I would take a lower one. You can even go as low as that one and just kind of box it in like this if you want to trade Apple. Because the moment that this breaks, right, that's what's going to cause it to pull back pretty good. Probably as low as 175, 176, but it's got to break. I mean, if it continuously is pushing north, I mean, we could see, there's really, I think this was, yeah. See, this was the line I put a while back. This is like the only thing left that you can use for kind of a ceiling if you wanted to watch it. But I would say if we get anywhere up here over the next few months into that 200 202 range, I mean that fall is gonna be nasty. So if you're looking to take a put, that one's gonna be pretty good. I don't know though, guys. I mean, Apple's had so much good news, but this is just like on the daily, like a monstrous move north, right? So eventually, once those collapse, right, this is what happens. So the collapse is gonna come. I mean, they just you look at historically, even with Apple, right, it has to have its pullbacks, right? I mean, these are more drastic than I would anticipate, and we did create a higher high. So I don't know that we're going to go all the way back down there, but a retest down to 160 would not shock me over the next coming months. I mean, we've just been climbing on the RSI. I mean, it's been divergence all over the place. Micro, right? Nothing major, but none of them have played out. So, I mean, I wish that stocks could go up forever, but they can't. So, at some point, it's going to pull back. So I'll just be really careful taking calls in here. If you're going to take them, get in, get out, learn to scalp like we do in our room. So I'll touch a little bit on Microsoft. So I've had a few people ask. So on the 1 hour, if you look here, we did flip back over the 200 EMA. So fairly bullish, but we are in a bearish candle, losing some steam, right? So currently just kind of whenever I don't see anything real clear, I like to zoom out. You can see just a massive gap that needs to be filled on Microsoft as well. This area here I would probably say is going to be really good support around 320, 322. I'll put this one as we'll just go white line. So it's likely going to just range here. You can see it's actually struggled to break this resistance line. So this is how I would box in Microsoft if you're going to trade it, and we are still up in the range, right? So if I want to take a call on Microsoft, I'm going to wait until it gets above this line here at 338 or so. Otherwise, I'm going to look for that flip, and I'm going to take that put. I'm going to take that put and just ride that sucker back down here. So let's take a look at the daily. Yeah, look at the daily. Daily, same thing, right? It had its break. And again, this was a good call, right? 335, broke all the way to 323. And now we are currently red also here, and we have that bearish divergence. So I'd be really careful on your calls on Microsoft. I would not be taking calls. I don't go too deep into tech stocks like this most of the time, but figure why not. Google's looking pretty weak, guys. You have your kind of three-point touch here. We broke it down. It tried to reclaim it. I called this yesterday, I think it was. Where was it? Right, yeah, right here. And it tried to push up. It broke down again. We are bearish here. We do have bearish gap fill call on our gap fill. I don't know. I see Google coming all the way down to 108 over time, probably next week or so, week or 2 weeks. The gap fill is calling a level down to here, so we can look and see. It could find some support within here. Probably 109, I would say, would be the low on that. But we do have this channel here. You can see that we have. A lot of times it loves to come down and find some support on these channels as well. So if you're scalping, but on the daily, you can see the red played out perfectly. It's a little ahead of the rest of them, right? It called the red, and if you were playing that, the moment it went red right here, right on this first 127, 126 range, if you had these indicators and you had that bearish divergence call with the red, you would have took that put, right, and you would have been doing really, really well actually. So that kind of explains why Google's struggling compared to the rest of them. So Amazon, I'm missing my zone tracker on Amazon. Amazon's a little messy on the 5 minute. Let's go to the 1 hour. Let's see what this looks like. So we have our bearish divergence here on the 1 hour. It hasn't quite played out to reclaim this candle yet. Let's check on the daily. Daily's still looking pretty strong. So the daily, what you want to watch is this SMA, right? As long as we continue to hold support on this SMA, so we can pull back to 125 or so. If it holds support, right, up we go. But it also has that kind of gap opening, right, like this. So if we do flip this SMA, then it's likely that we're going to pull back. Let me add my zone tracker. Somehow got off of that one. Let's add this sucker back. Maybe it doesn't like that one. Doesn't like the zone tracker on Amazon. There it goes. I take those off just because I have enough going on in my charts. So looking at the zone tracker, so the 200 EMA, that's what I was mostly looking for, which comes with the zone tracker, is around 111, right? So you'd have to break this SMA. I mean, until it breaks this SMA, it's just bullish. But you look at the daily, and Amazon's looking a little stronger because although we do have bullish divergence coming in here, we have not flipped red like the other ones. So keep an eye on that. I probably won't be trading Amazon. Bitcoin, I put this out in the room, guys. Yesterday I was talking about it. We were just ranging. You can see the arrow I had there yesterday. This is the support that I'm looking for it to find here. Now, if you notice, the interesting thing is the 200 EMA on the 1 hour is around a heavy support area too. So if this can find support, the explosion north should be pretty nuts, right? It should be pretty wild. On the flip side, if this breaks, you've now broken support and you've broken the 200 EMA, and that has not happened since 26K, 20 right here, Golden Cross around 26K. And so that's going to be a nasty fall if we flip that, right? But it has to flip this. I mean, it's going to create a squeeze. You can see the SMA is coming down, the 200 EMA. We're just going to squeeze in the meantime. So as far as highs, I see same thing, retest of around 30,800. Low is around 29.7. And then if we get some bullish news, and it breaks this support level here, then we could basically come up for basically a retest of 31.4. But I'm not convinced on that. But it's hard to say because the news yesterday came out real bullish, and you can see it pushed it north in a big way, but I mean, it lost everything it gained yesterday off the news, so in one day, which is not good. So looking at the daily on Bitcoin, you can see this is how our daily looks. We do have a gap fill that we're calling here, which is around 28.4, but we have yet to flip red, but we are still overbought. We did peak that red. You can see last time we were peaked red and we flipped red. We fell from 30,300 all the way to 27. So we have not quite flipped red, but just watch for that. The moment that flips red, I would stay short. I would stay away from the longs. But until it flips red, right, you can be in a situation like right here, where you don't really, I mean, these are still decent pullbacks, 28 all the way to 26, right? But we ended up basically going north in the end, and that's what this thing right here, this code that we put into this, makes it to where it keeps you really safe. Works really, really well. So that's what I got for Bitcoin. Ethereum, as I talked about yesterday, I think, wasn't looking really as strong as Bitcoin because it's already testing that EMA. On the 1 hour, it's actually fallen below it again. If this SMA happens to, if this collapses down and this SMA gets your death cross, then we're going to see some pretty good downside. heavily dependent on Bitcoin. Now, this is where you start to see altcoins fall faster than crypto sometimes, is if this is already looking weak and then Bitcoin falls, right, or collapses, then that is what is going to make that fall pretty good. There is tons of support, though, tons of support on Ethereum between 1807 and 1834. So it would need to break that area to really pull us back down into the 1700 range. But yeah, I'm not, I mean, if you look at our zone tracker, it's got the peak here that it's called for a bit that's held just so well. And it doesn't have support really until here. There's a little soft support around 1720 or so, but the main support's down in this way. The daily Ethereum's not nearly as overbought as Bitcoin. Actually, there's still room to go up, and we did have that green, and we're still green. So just play your ranges, play your indicators, and you will be good. So let's jump into the ATAs. Only got about 10 minutes left. So we got Bitcoin. Let's load this. Let's load up Bitcoin and see where we're at. So I know those of you guys on TikTok, you guys are watching. John, did you just say, can you cover SPY? You cracked me up. I just happened to look back. So Bitcoin, I know, just got out of its trade because I'd seen the alert go off. So Bitcoin shorts is still doing really well. Tons of trades. For those who don't know, the red is a trade, the orange is a close, the deeper red is a DCA. So it's had a couple 1 DCAs to get out, but it's done well. We sold here finally at around 3 in the morning. On that one we were stuck in, we did take a short, got out, took a short, get out. Now keep in mind I did add a second DCA on Bitcoin because I didn't really want to watch it, and so I'm going to take that second DCA off because we do not need that anymore. So we do have to create the alert, and I'm gonna have to move it off my screen again temporarily. 1 second, because I was doing alerts yesterday again while I was trading, so I gotta add the webhook back in. So be patient with me for 1 moment. All right. Got that back in there. So we're going to call this one ATA, KuCoin, BTC short. And I'm going to remain short, guys. I mean, it's done well. I think we're high in the range. Even if we go up, I can fight it with where I think we're going to go. I'm just going to hold on to it, right? But we're getting back to the 1 DCA because I don't want to get stuck on anything with that. So we're good. So let's go to ETH. Let's see if ETH is doing the same. I need to adjust my layouts. I say this every day, but get busy. So probably doing okay because, yeah, we're doing okay. So ETH is doing really well. You can see we had some DCAs in here, really well-placed DCAs. I love how it took a DCA, took a short, waited for the pump, then shorted it. So good. It's taken so many shorts along the way. We're actually not in a short at all. Currently on ETH, so that one's looking pretty solid. I'm gonna keep ETH going though. I'm not gonna stop it, even though we have the news today. So we'll play the range. I don't think I added a second DCA now, so we're still good on ETH. So I'm not gonna touch ETH. We're in good shape. We're not even in a trade right now, so ETH is killing it. Let's go to LTC. LTC is the other one we were running short. Based on the chart, looks like it's doing good. And yeah, it's killing it, guys. I mean, this was yesterday, and it's just been shorting the crap out of it all the way. Kind of sucks we missed this. It looks like it took the short, but it got barely wicked out before the fall came. It happens, right? I mean, who hasn't closed their trade early once or twice? But the beauty is I don't have to look at this. It's taken 34 trades in 7 days, so not bad. We're not currently in a short right now on LTC, so we're still looking pretty good on LTC. I'm not going to touch that one as well. Now let's take a look at our longs because we know we've gone down. Let's see how our longs are holding up. So Matic was a long that we took. Let's see if it's stuck. Oh, this is my other one. Hold on. KuCoin. I might have copied my layout here. Oh, there it is. Okay, cool. So we are stuck in our Matic long, it looks like. Not too bad. Our entry is 65. We're at 62. I'm okay with adding a second DCA for Matic. We'll probably put it, let's see, somewhere in this level here. So somewhere around 60, I think I'm okay with doing that. Maybe we can capture a little pullback on the news here. So let's go ahead and we're gonna say long. Okay, DCA. We'll add this. Let's see where it puts it on the default. Yeah, it puts it too close. So let's put it at 6%. Let's see where that is. That's still a little close. Let's go 8. And that's around 61. I'm okay with that, I think. There's a lot of support in this level, so I'm okay with that. So let's go ahead and stop our Matic alert. We're going to create the next one. ATA, KuCoin, Matic, long. This is going to be a good trade once it's done. Well, let's wait for that to create that alert. I always have done that a few times where I'll close the layout before the alert creates, right? And then it won't create it. So you just gotta be patient. At the mercy of TradingView on that one. Usually it's pretty quick, but it depends because we have a lot of code that goes into it. There it goes. Matic long. Good deal. All right, Sol is the next one we want to do, and then we are done. And then we made it on time again. All right, so Sol's in a better shape than Matic. It looks like Sol did really well at bypassing that drop. But you can see here it took the sell, it actually fell, and it continued to scalp. So if you remember when I was running Sol on Big, it does that a lot for some reason, and that's why I chose to run Sol as my next one. Because it loves to wait for those falls, right, and then take those trades. So currently we're in a long that's negative. It's almost in a DCA 1, but not quite there. Yeah. So we'll sit tight on Sol. I'm still gonna run 3 shorts, 2 longs. I do that purposely because I want the longs to capitalize if we push up. I want the shorts to capitalize if we push down. The idea of the ATA is to always have it earning something, right? We want always to have something working. That's also why I have not activated Doge, I have not activated XRP, and I have not activated Aave, because I'm kind of hanging out. There's no point in really adding those 3 if the other ones are not stuck, if they're all still earning for me. I don't need to be greedy with it, right? I use those 3 as like secondary pairs where if I start to get 2 or 3 that are stuck in trades and I'm like, man, I'm not earning, boom, let's activate it, right? Because that's how you keep yourself earning. So we're just sitting tight on those for those that are wondering why I'm not turning all of them on. So we're hanging out with those. So but that's all I got today, guys. It's gonna be an awesome day trading. We'll see you guys in the room. If you're trading options, come in today for sure, because we got some news early. We should all be able to get in, make our trades, make our money, and be done by 11 today. But we'll see how that goes. So appreciate you guys' time, and we'll see you in the room if you're in the community. And TikTok Hangout, I'll take a look at questions.